That was Rob Bradford a bit earlier on Jones and Keith, because Nick Fitzy Stevens, we have a big-ish move to talk about with your Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox have acquired veteran right-hander Sonny Gray in exchange for righty Richard Fitz and left-handed pitching prospect Brandon Clarke. The Cardinals are also including $20 million to pay some of Gray's salary. Nick Fitzy Stevens, if I can base it on the texts and emails we've had this morning or early this afternoon, you're not exactly a big fan of this deal.
Consider me dubious. There are so many reasons to not necessarily want to put all of your faith and trust eggs in the Sonny Gray basket. Number one, the guy stinks against the Yankees. And also, he couldn't pitch in New York. And last time I checked, Boston is about as big a media market, or at least as big a baseball media market, with scrutiny and media galore, which I'm not sure this gentleman thrives under. Number two, last year, 14-8, 4.5, 4.25 ERA. Okay, fine. Middle to the back end of the rotation type of guy who, instead of just paying to come pitch for the Red Sox for a year, they sent a couple of prospects to get. All right, that almost feels like an overpay. Oh, good, wait. Of his $35 million, St. Louis is paying $20 million of it. Why is another team willing to pay this guy $20 million to not pitch for them? And he came from St. Louis. You know who their president of baseball operations is?
Bloom.
Chaim Bloom, who I don't trust at all. Andy, this guy's 36. I've already suffered from Corey Kluber syndrome. I don't need low-rent Max Scherzer. If anything, I would have been happy they just went out and threw some money at Merrill Kelly, because I know that guy can pitch in the American League and pitch on the big stage. Sonny Gray feels like such a, let me see, I get to choose one word to describe it, meh move to me.
Okay, you take meh. I'm going to use one word to describe it, and we'll get it initial, and we're going to get more into that discussion later, because I do think what happens after this will matter how we think of the Sonny Gray deal. As Rob Bradford just said, is this the guy to walk hand in hand as a co-number one or a number two with Garrett Crochet? No, he's not. What if I described him to you as a rich man's Lucas Giolito? What if I said to you, this guy who was a Cy Young runner-up just 3 years ago, who had 180 innings last year, 200 strikeouts, led the NL in strikeouts per walk, did give up some home runs, so that's where the Giolito comparison also continues to be apt. But if I told you you're going to get 32 starts, which is what he had a year ago and also 2 years ago, so 2 of the last 3 years, he started 32 games, gave you 180 innings, and he's a multiple-time 200 strikeout guy. You don't like that in the middle of your rotation? Hear me again. The middle of your rotation. I hope you're listening, Craig Breslow. I said the middle of the rotation, not the top of the rotation.
The middle of the rotation?
Oh, that's a pot shot. That feels like a cheap shot.
That's the first of many today. Okay, listen, you can also color me curious, if not dubious, about the Breslow acquisitions, because for every Crochet and Chapman, which were both excellent, even if you had to spend a lot to get Crochet, he certainly delivered ROI. You're also going to get Dustin May, and you're going to get other sort of like type of starters, or you're going to deal away Quinn Priester for $1.380 and a box of saltines. So, you know, he has a very high hit or miss ratio. Andy, the guys just keep getting up there. 36 years old. Like, he's no spring chicken. It's basically a one-year flyout for a couple of prospects. And no, I didn't necessarily think old Dickie Fitz and Clark were going to necessarily be stalwarts of the rotation or make or break the 2026 season for the Red Sox. It's, you know, hey, they're active. Good. Hot stove. Underway. Terrific. But, like, this is no number 2 starter for the Red Sox. In the American League East, no chance. And by the way, Giolito, when he was healthy last year, I know that's the big caveat, when healthy, was better than Sonny Gray. Better.
Yes, at times he was better. At times he was worse. Now, I want to throw some things out there. Let me set the table real quick, though. 2:30, we're going to have our weekly chat with Mark Schlereth. I think there's good perspective there. Former longtime NFL offensive lineman that can talk about the injuries to Will Campbell and to Jared Wilson and how the Patriots react and what the heck is going through the head of Adarian Lowe and Marcus Bryant and Doug Marrone this week. So 2:30, we'll talk to Mark Schlereth. 4:30, our weekly chat with Brian Hoyer. We'll talk all things Patriots offense, goal line, quarterbacks, all those types of things with Brian Hoyer. Ted Johnson will join us at 3 o'clock. TED Talk at 3:30. We'll get his breakdown of everything he saw in that lackluster win on Sunday in Cincinnati. But we are leading off talking Sonny Gray, your new number 4 starter for the Boston Red Sox. If I say it enough, it becomes true. I think that's, you put it out there and it becomes true. How you feeling about this trade? I want to work the listeners in early if we can here. 617-779-7937. You can call, you can text. I will say, Fitzy, I used this as the poll today, and a lot of very quick votes coming in, and a lot of votes that are with you. At first glance, 66% voted meh. And what was the question? What is your reaction to the Red Sox trading for veteran starting pitcher Sonny Gray? The options were love it, meh, hate it. Good news is the hate it is only 6%, but yes, 66% meh leading the way. 28%, though, which I actually think is a pretty good percentage, love the deal for Sonny Gray. So, Fitzy, I want to ask you 2 questions. So
I'm gonna try to answer them both.
You've painted the picture of just the sort of surface level Sonny Gray, what he is. He's an aging veteran starting pitcher, gives up home runs. The ERA is on the rise. The WAR is on the fall. Strikeouts pretty consistent. Innings pretty consistent. Can eat some innings for you. Can strike some people out. Not going to walk a bunch of guys. Okay, so that's sort of the baseball reference AI summation of what he brings to the table. 2 questions that I want to throw out. How much does it matter what this move looks like in retrospect come January, February? If they trade for Joe Ryan as well, are you going to like this move a little bit more? If this is in conjunction with Joe Ryan and they sign, let's just say, Pete Alonso, are you going to like this move even more?
Well, I don't care, Andy. They could sign you. They could fire Cora and make you manager so long as they have Joe Ryan and Pete Alonso. I'm completely on board for 2026.
Okay, so yes, you will.
Yes, so context will be king in this regard, 100%. And so long as Minnesota doesn't say to them like, gee, damn it, we wanted Fitz and Clarke for Joe Ryan, that's it, the deal's off the table, then I'm completely okay with it. If it's an appetizer and not the main course, I'm okay with it.
And then my second question is, and Dan Ball, I'd like to work you in here because I believe you are our trade deadline desk anchor, and so you may have some recollection. Where was this move at the Major League Baseball trade deadline? Because I feel like this is a move that people would have enjoyed at the trade deadline, bolstering the pitching staff with a veteran arm had you made this move in the summer. I think even Fitzy, before I get to you, Dan, but real quick, Fitzy, had this move come at the trade deadline and you bolstered your starting pitching at the trade deadline, would you have liked this move more? Because I know I would have.
Would have been great. It would have been awesome. As a matter of fact, you know what else I would have liked? The Red Sox moving on to the ALDS thanks to Sonny Gray, and having a little extra depth and being able to get a home gate for the playoffs and then holding on to him for the next year. We would have had a chance to test to see if Sonny Gray could handle pitching in Boston. So you either trade him away this offseason or you hold on to him. I would have been all for it because he would have been a massive upgrade over the corpse of Dustin May.
Okay, so Dan Ball, first of all, just to recap. Hey, Dan Ball, how are
Hi,
you?
good afternoon, boys.
Hi, good afternoon.
You know my memory, not the greatest in the world.
Sure.
So I just wanted to delve into your much younger brain.
Okay.
Was this on the radar come Major League Baseball's trade deadline? Did we hear about Sonny Gray a lot?
No, not that I can recall. I think St. Louis was still somewhat in the what are we mix.
Okay.
So in the conversation of Merrill Kelly and Charlie Morton, that's kind of the family where Sonny Gray falls into. I don't remember anything serious. I'm sure his name got brought up. He's an aging pitcher. Contract is what it is. I'm sure that it was mentioned, but I don't remember him being connected to the Red Sox by any stretch.
And we know that they had conversations because they made a trade. Just not for him.
Right.
But I'm guessing in the midst of those conversations, there's opportunities to make it a package deal, throw other names in there. So I would have liked this trade a lot in the summer. I think this would have bolstered your rotation and given you some hope. And now it may not have made any difference because I don't believe he hits home runs. So unless he hits home runs, it may not have made a difference in the postseason series with the Yankees, where scoring runs was a bit of an issue. But it may have made us feel better heading toward the postseason. Who knows? But right now, I don't hate the move. I don't know if I could have voted love it in my own poll, and I feel like there's a big drop-off between love it and meh. Meh is like you don't care, and love it is like, yeah, this is awesome. I don't care what they do. I love it.
Well, I don't think meh doesn't mean that you don't register an opinion. I'm certain. As you could hear from the opening of the show, I am far from ambivalent on this move. I just don't find it very. It's not terribly whelming. It's teetering towards underwhelming to me, and I think it's an awful lot to spend.
I feel like I should have put meh leaning toward positive and meh leaning towards negative. I feel like people in the meh category have like a positive or a negative tone to their mehness. And I think, Fitzy, you're meh negative, meh positive. What is Dan Ball?
Restate my options again?
Well, your options in the real poll are love it, meh, hate it.
Okay. I would take the same option no matter if it was the real poll or what we're discussing here. I hate this. I'm not a fan of this at all.
Why?
Welcome, Dan. We have crackers and cheese for you.
Thank you very much. 4.90 ERA in 30 games, 23 starts, 11-9 record. That is the one full season that Sonny Gray has pitched on a team in a big market. He was so bad with the New York Yankees that they had to move him back to the Cincinnati Reds. Other than the Yankees, he's pitched with Oakland, Cincinnati, Minnesota, and St. Louis on teams, playing seasons, playing games that did not matter. He had a mid-4 ERA in 2017 with the Yankees in the playoffs when they acquired him at the trade deadline, 6 walks, 6 strikeouts in those games. I don't view Sonny Gray as the big market playoff rental that the Red Sox should have been aiming to get in that lower slot in their rotation. So I'm not a fan of this move.
Merrill Kelly was the guy, I'm telling you. And I don't know if they've approached him or if they had any interest in dialogue with him, if he's on the Brez bar, if you will, or the Brezdar. But guy pitched in the World Baseball Classic. Guy has postseason experience. He was fine in Texas last year. Has a lower ERA and better on a big stage. I'm with Dan. Guys that do their best pitching in medium to small markets belong in medium to small markets. That's not to say that there's anything wrong with them. It's just that it takes a different animal. It takes a different arm and a different mindset to thrive in the AL East, which is like that is the hot zone. It's a totally different jungle out there.
So what's going to happen when Andrew Bailey and Connor Wong and the Red Sox consortium of pitching brain power get their hands on Sonny Gray? And I know he's a little older, so it's not like you're molding a young talent, but we've seen them make alterations, suggest, I don't know, maybe he's never located his fastball, and somebody goes, hey, Sonny, why don't you locate your fastball? You might become a better pitcher. Is there any optimism that the team and organizational philosophies on pitching could help him become a better big market pitcher?
I mean, to me, Fitzy, I absolutely think that they'll be able to get the best physical performance out of Sonny Gray, but I think you're missing my point a little bit in that this is all a mental between the ears concern for me. This is what happens when you're pitching at Fenway Park in a meaningful AL East game, a game that in which hopefully you're competing for a pennant or trying to get to the World Series or whatever this win-now mentality is that the Red Sox potentially could have this offseason. Andrew Bailey or Connor Wong in his pitch comm or the pitching lab or Craig Breslow or anybody himself, Fitzy, is not going to be able to change the mental makeup that is the reason why I'm the most concerned about this one.
Exactamundo Danielson. Andy, the next time that he gives up a 517-foot home run to Stanton or to Aaron Judge and it completely deflates him, and then he's like, why am I here? I know he waived his no-trade clause to come here, so either he was excited about the opportunity and believes in the Red Sox, or he hated St. Louis, which has a super boring downtown for what it's worth. I don't know, but I'm with you, Dan.
So the text line is lighting up with a variety of reactions to this move, as sort of we are articulating them here on WEEI Afternoons. Red Sox trade for Sonny Gray. Is he their number 2, their number 4? Is he, as the 508 says, sucky Gray, as he was with the Yankees? That's not very nice. We have some conflicting responses to me. There's 401, Hart, the voice of reason, with lots of question marks and exclamation points, like they almost don't trust that I could possibly be the voice of reason. Then the 774, no, Andy, no. Sonny Gray has 0-4 record at Fenway. Okay, you want to throw numbers 603. I'm going to assume that Just Baseball on Twitter with a blue check mark is a valid account because they put this tweet out just a little while ago. The only pitchers with 400-plus strikeouts and fewer than 80 walks over the last 2 seasons, Tarek Skubal, Garrett Crochet, and Sonny Gray. The Boston Red Sox now have 2 of those 3, and if you believe some people could trade for the 3rd and have all the market cornered on those guys. But what are your thoughts on that? A guy that 400-plus strikeouts, less than 80 walks, just like Crochet and Skubal, huh, Fitzy? How you like them apples?
Yeah, cool. How's that going to go against Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? He was pitching against Milwaukee and the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Wait till he gets to Fenway Park on a Friday
I know.
night.
Hitters hate Fenway Park.
And
he
feels the energy of the crowd, and it goes through his veins.
I'm Mr. Brightside. And when Will Fleming, here's the pitch. Swung on. Oh, no. That one's going to Brighton. We'll see that one tomorrow. Gone.
That's
another 3-run home run given up by Sonny Gray. More like not so Sonny Gray.
What in the world?
That's I could hear that, actually. You actually did a good job with that. You know, no one's ever hit a 600-foot. Oh, they have now. Good Lord, did Vlad crush that one?
That's just stupid.
No, I'm choosing.
That one needs a pilot and a stewardess. My God.
Wow.
So is
you
that,
can't take your eyes off that bomb.
is that your biggest concern, that he is Sucky Gray, that he is a small market pitcher who's now a big market pitcher? Also, Dan Ball, the big market, small market, what's between his ears, what's between his ribs and his chest cavity, or whatever the makeup is?
Thank God that's where it stayed.
Do you think that matters in terms of rotation? Like if the rotation starts the year with Garrett Crochet and then Joe Ryan and then Brian Bayo, and he slots in as your number 4 starter just before Connolly early, is he still feeling big city pressure when he takes the mound at Fenway Park, or is he like, wow, I'm a back of the rotation guy on a pretty damn good baseball team?
Well, I mean, are you playing for meaningful games?
Yes, you're playing meaningful baseball.
Because
that's what this signals.
If he was in the Connolly Early situation in New York in the ALDS, or the wild card series, we didn't think that Early was going to be in that spot. I have no idea where Sonny Gray is going to end up. He is a guy that he is reliable. He makes 30 plus starts in upwards 150 to 200 innings.
Clocks in and clocks out.
Absolutely, he does. So odds are he's going to be in a situation to start a meaningful game for the Red Sox. He's going to be you're in your Derek Lowe spot behind your other starters that you have. I don't think that really matters. If he is who we think he is, which is a guy that's supposed to post every single week, he's going to be making playoff starts, and he's going to be in a spot that I just don't trust. And he's also aging. That is also a concern. It's not my biggest, but you have to factor that in.
He's definitely aging. Can we agree on this? The fact that they went out and got a guy that is essentially a win-now rental who's kind of expensive signals that they're in win-now mode, that they're not building slowly with this young core of pitchers and lineup around Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, Connolly Early, Peyton, like that they are believing, yes, we are building on a wild card berth last year, and we expect to now go compete for a pennant for a World Series. Can we agree that this move feels more like the win now than anything else?
I love the proactivity. I love the fact that they're out the gate, they're making moves. And again, if Sonny Gray is your number 3, maybe tops, or possibly number 4 starter, and you trade for Joe Ryan, or Brian Bayo takes a step and Connolly Early is just absolutely lights out, or Peyton Tolley learns a second pitch, hell yeah, that's great. If Sonny Gray is your number 2 starter, I think you're asking for trouble. I think that's a big ask of somebody who, like Dan Ball enumerated and shared the statisticals of, is not a great big market, high pressure situation type pitcher. I think it's a pretty thin ice there, guy. Pretty thin.
Trust Bresbot.
That's right. Trust Bresbot. It's early. He went out and got a veteran arm. I don't think he believes he's a number 2. I don't think we have to worry about that, but time will tell as we see the other moves they make throughout the course of the offseason, of the winter. 617-779-7937. How you feeling about this Sonny Gray trade? Are the Red Sox in win-now mode? Is he a great 4th starter with his experience, his innings, his starts, his strikeouts? Or Did they cheap out and they tried to find a pivot alternative for Joe Ryan and a better number 2 pitcher? Dan Ball?
Text line goes, this has Walker Buehler written all over it.
No,
which
it doesn't.
You know is my favorite.
No, it doesn't. Come on now. He's going to be better than Walker Buehler. I
Walker
can
Buehler
promise
at
that.
least was able to get outs in the World Series. Sonny Gray was like, oh, New York's, oh my God.
Yeah, Walker Buehler just couldn't get outs in the months of like March, April,
he's
May,
old.
June, July, August, all the important months to try to get back to the World Series. 617-779-7937.
Embarrassing, man. I think the last time I walked this many in a season, I threw 207 innings. So
That will not be a problem with Sonny Gray. We'll continue to react to this initial move for the Boston Red Sox in what we are all hoping, or at least little gullible Andy is hoping, is going to be an active offseason. Up next, though, we need to get to a little football talk. The Patriots got a win in Cincinnati that some thought felt like a loss, or it certainly came at a massive cost. Mark Schlereth will have our weekly chat with the former NFL offensive lineman and Fox analyst. That's up next here on WEEI. But first, Dan Ball, give me what's trending.